What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the last video for this lesson segment. The last video we're going to be looking at is a video on something called Heron's formula. Heron's formula is how we find the area, or a way we can find the area of a triangle. So guys, I'm going to switch to the visualizer, so that way we can get some learning. So, Heron's formula is a way we find the area of a triangle. Now, I'm sure you guys remember, you guys are thinking to yourself, well, isn't there already a way to find the area of a triangle? You are right. Area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 the base times the height. Very helpful when you're in geometry, right? Base and the height, h. Because a lot of times they give you these values. When we get into trigonometry, a lot of times we aren't given the height of a triangle. In fact, that's a really difficult thing to find in a lot of triangles. What Heron's formula allows us to do is we can find the area of a triangle if we know all the sides. So we don't need to know the height of the triangle. All we need to know is, well, the sides. And you can see why we've built up into this is because, well, we know how to solve for sides of a triangle. We know how to solve a triangle. So I'm not actually going to go into depth as to how to solve a triangle. I'm going to focus on how we find the area of a triangle using Heron's formula. Now, Heron's formula is area is equal to, this is going to be kind of weird for us at first. It's S times A minus S times B minus S. Oops, sorry. Let me start from that. Refresh that. Area. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Is equal to the square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. And A, B, and C, these are all sides of a triangle. And S is what we call the semi-perimeter. And I'm going to show you an example of how we utilize this. So let's check one out. I'm going to slide this up just so we can see it. In fact, I'm going to fold this down. We're going to do an example because I think it's a lot easier and it feels a lot more understandable when you have a concrete example. So the example we're going to look at is a pretty straightforward triangle. Not drawn to scale, just an arbitrary triangle whose sides are 4, 5, and 6. Now, the first thing we want to do, you'll notice, here's our triangle, right? I like to pick side names. I'm going to call this one A, I'm going to let this one be B, and I'm going to let this be C. If they give you A, B, and C, just use A, B, and C like they have written out. So we have A, B, and C. What we need to find is S. S we call the semi-perimeter. Now, when you see the prefix semi, you should be thinking half, like semicircle. So what we do is we actually add all the sides together, because this is the perimeter, and we divide it by 2. Let's slide this up. Here's our perimeter, and this is what makes it semi, by dividing it by 2. Semi-perimeter. Now, if we want to fill this into our area, well, let's simplify this first. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15 over 2, which is equal to 7.5. No problem having decimals here. So if we want to fill this into our area equation, the area equation is going to be, I'm just going to use A, is equal to the square root of our semi-perimeter, 7.5, times S, 7.5 minus A, minus 4, 7.5 minus B, which is 6, 7.5 minus C, which is 5. We substitute into our formula. Now what I like to do is I'm actually just going to do the inside of what we call the radicand. I'm going to evaluate that in my calculator first. I don't like to do too many steps in my calculator because the syntax can be a little bit difficult for some of these more complex problems. So I'm going into my calculator and I'm going to do 7.5 times 7.5 minus 4 times 7.5 minus 6 times 7.5 minus 5. And I'm just doing that part first. What did I... 7, 5. Let me see what's going on here, because that is definitely not correct. Let me try that again. 7.5 times 7.5 minus 4 times 7.5 minus 6. Oh, I probably forgot to close the bracket there. 7.5 minus 5. There we go. So this is not our answer, right? All I know is now A is equal to the square root of this value, 98.4. So now I'll evaluate that in my calculator. And we get 9.9. So the area of our triangle, using just the sides, is 9.9. Whatever, units squared, because we're talking about area. Now, make sure, if they don't tell you all of the sides, you need to know all of the sides. If they don't tell you all of the sides, you need to use law of sine or law of cosine to do that. You will have to do that on one of the questions in the assessment. Well, hope you guys are doing well. Miss you guys a ton. Watch these videos. Send me questions. You guys know the deal. I hope you guys are staying safe. Exercise. Get some rest. Maybe read. You know, get off the phones a little bit. But make sure you're doing your homework and stuff for this class and then others. Well, rock and roll, guys. I will catch you later.